Compelled to find the source of Revan's enormous fleet, the Jedi Council decided to rely upon the Force bond between Bastila and the former Dark Lord. Revan, who had no recollection on his former life, was placed under Shan's command upon the Republic Hammerhead cruiser named Endar Spire. Meanwhile, Darth Malak concentrated all of his war efforts towards finding Bastila, seeing her power as the last obstacle towards his complete victory. Believing that his former master is dead, the newly anointed Dark Lord hunted the Jedi relentlessly, eventually ambushing the Endar Spire crew above Taris. With the sound of Turbolazer's blast, Revan awoke in his quarters. He was informed by a fellow Republic soldier, Trusk Ulgo, of the recent developments, and the two rushed out of the room, hoping to find Bastila before the Sith. While fighting the Sith troops in the corridors of the ship, the pair encountered Darth Banda, Malak's apprentice. Knowing that they do not stand a chance against the Sith Lord, Trusk sacrificed himself, which allowed Revan to escape the cruiser alongside the Republic captain Carthonasi. Since Bastila had already escaped the Endar Spire, Revan and the captain boarded the final pod moments before the cruiser exploded. After crash landing on the surface of Taris, Revan was knocked unconscious, but Carth managed to drag him to an abandoned apartment. While unconscious, Revan was tormented by a dreadful vision of his buried past. As soon as he regained consciousness, the pair started their search for Bastila, eventually discovering that she had been captured by a Black Vulcar swoop gang, who thought that she was a high-ranking Republic officer and offered her as a reward. In order to set Bastila free, Revan needed to win the swoop race tournament. With the help from the Vulcar's rival the Hidden Backs, as well as a young Twi'lek female named Mission Vow and her Wookiee companion Zalbar, Revan won the tournament and was able to secure Shan's freedom. These achievements, along with the win over Bendak Starkiller and many other accomplishments, drew the attention of the Mandalorian mercenary Canderous Ordo. He told Revan that in order to bypass the Sith blockade of the planet, he would need an exceptionally fast ship, and only one with that feature could be found in the system. This was the Ebon Hawk, personal freighter of Davik Kang, the exchange leader on the planet. Apart from the ship, they also needed specific passcodes which were heavily guarded inside the Sith base. With the help of the utility droid T3M4, Revan and his companions managed to take the codes before the entire Sith garrison on the planet was alerted, and the Mandalorian kept his end of the bargain. He introduced Revan to Davik Kang, claiming that the young man wished nothing else but to join the notorious crime syndicate. Before the security check was finished, Revan and his companions sneaked from their room in the attempt to steal the Ebon Hawk. But the exchange leader wasn't about to let the group steal his most prized asset, which led to a brief duel in which Revan killed Davik and wounded his right-hand man, Kylo Nord. As the Sith began the bombardment of the planet, frustrated that they didn't manage to capture Bastila, the crew set course for Dantooine. Upon landing on the planet, Shan discussed the next step in their master plan with the Jedi Council, which agreed to retrain Revan in the ways of the Force, much to disapproval of the master Rook Lamar. His skepticism masked his fear of the possible return of the original Dark Lord. Over the next several weeks, Revan underwent an intense training regimen, sparring with Bastila as frequently as he could and spending a great deal of time studying the Order's scrolls and holocrons. After completing all of the tests, with one being to help Juhani find the path to the light again, Revan was honored with the title of Padawan. Following the orders of the Jedi Council, he and his crew embarked on the quest of finding the star maps which would eventually lead them to the Star Forge. Much has changed since Revan last visited these planets. Their first destination was the desert world of Tatooine. As the ship landed in the Anchorhead, the only settlement in the Dune Sea, Revan and Bastila shared a Force vision of the star map. As a beacon of the dark side, it drew manifold creatures to it, one of them being the Krayt Dragon. After closely consulting with the Zerka representative on the planet, the group decided that their best bet for discovering the star map was to enlist the help of the Sand People. However, this was not an easy task, as the Sand People viewed outsiders as nothing more than thieves who defiled their sacred land. With the help of the HK-47, who Revan didn't recognize due to his amnesia, the group managed to persuade the Sand People chieftain into aiding them. The cave in which the star map was hidden was a lair of the enormous Krayt Dragon, and attacking the great beast directly would be a suicidal quest. At the cave's entrance, Revan met a Twi'lek hunter with whom he created a cunning trap for the dragon. After the Krayt Dragon had been killed, Revan and his companions approached the star map, which activated, allowing the crew to record the map's content. Before the crew could depart Tatooine, they had one more challenge up ahead. Calo Nord, who survived the Sith bombardment on Taris, allied himself with Darth Malak and was now hunting the young Jedi. Even though the bounty hunter tried to exploit every tactic he could, he was no match for the Jedi who slew him. After the events in the Dune Sea, the crew took the Ebon Hawk to the next planet that contained the star map, Kashyyyk. Just as before, Revan and Bastila received a Force vision of the star map deep on the forest floor. Unfamiliar with the Wookiee customs, Revan brought Zalbar with him. Along the path to the Wookiee village, they witnessed a number of horrific acts performed by Zerka Corporation. Every Wookiee that disobeyed the corporation executives was shot on sight. Zalbar explained to the young Jedi that prior to his arrival on Taris, he discovered that his brother Chundar was secretly selling his tribesmen to Zerka as slaves. This treacherous act provoked a fight between brothers, in which Zalbar attacked Chundar with his claws. Such action was forbidden by the Wookiee code, and Zalbar was branded a Madclaw, which led to him being exiled from Kashyyyk. When they reached the village, a Wookiee warrior informed them that there has been a change in leadership and that Chundar is the new chieftain now. Not wanting for the entire village to find about his plot, Chundar apprehended Zalbar, telling Revan that for his freedom the young Jedi needed to kill another Madclaw that resided in Shadowland. Exploring the forest floor, the group encountered an old Jedi hermit named Jole Bindo, who joined the young Jedi in his quest. After a long search in the Shadowlands, the group discovered the star map, though it required the Revan's neurological pattern to become active again. Not far from the star map's location, they came across an old Wookiee who mistakenly thought that they were Zerka's assassins. Before Jolee Bindo could calm Freyr, the Wookiee attacked the group, forcing them to defend themselves. After a short fight, Freyr collapsed and came to his senses, explaining to the young Jedi that he is Zalbar and Chundar's father. Like his younger son, he was also a victim of Chundar's manipulation, which resulted in him being exiled into Shadowlands. With Revan by his side and wielding an ancient Wookiee sword, Freyr returned to the village. In a vicious duel, he defeated Chundar, restoring hope and freedom to the Wookiee village. Departing Kashyyyk, Revan and his crew then flew Ebon Hawk to the water world of Manaan. In order to receive shipments of the healing Kolto, the Republic and the Empire soldiers were forced to coexist peacefully on the planet. From one of the previous visions, the crew knew that the star map was located at a place called Ruckert Rift. The Republic ambassador informed the young Jedi that the journey to the ocean floor might be even more dangerous than the group previously thought. He explained to them that the embassy had lost all contact with the research station due to unknown circumstances. Determined to find the star map as soon as possible, Revan and his companions descended to the facility in a submarine. The interior of the facility was badly damaged, and the bodies of the Republic soldiers were scattered across the floor, which indicated that something horrible has happened. Exploring the facility, they came across a Twi'lek mercenary who explained that the Selcats went insane as soon as a giant Phyraxan shark appeared on the radar. Fighting through the malfunctioned security droids and the deranged Selcats within the damaged hallways of the station, Revan stumbled upon Republic scientists who managed to survive the Selcats' onslaught. They told him that the giant Phyraxa is a progenitor, the ancestor of the Selcat species. Since the path to the star map was blocked by the giant Phyraxa, Revan decided to destroy the Kolto harvester, which in turn calmed the great beast who allowed him to activate the star map. As the group was heading back to the submersible, they encountered Darth Bandon, Malek's apprentice, and the same Sith who had killed Trask Ulgo aboard the Endar Spire. Though powerful with the dark side, Bandon was no match for Revan, who slew the Sith. With their mission on Manaan concluded, the Ebon Hawk crew departed the planet. However, as they set off for Korriban, the site of the final star map, their ship was pulled from hyperspace by the Leviathan, Sol Karath's vessel. The Hawk was quickly boarded and the crew was captured. Mission Vow was the only one that managed to elude the Sith troopers, and after gaining the access to the security computer, she released the crew. While the rest of the group made their way to the hangar, Revan, Bastila and Karth were heading for the bridge. Accessing the ship's main chambers, the group was confronted by Admiral Sol Karath and a number of Sith troopers whom they proceed to defeat. With his dying breath, the Admiral revealed to Karth the identity of his companion. Enraged by the confession, Karth demanded the explanation, but Bastila begged him to remain calm until they reached the Ebon Hawk. But before they could access the ship, Darth Malak appeared. Amused by his former master's amnesia, Darth Malak revealed Revan's true identity to him. Shocked and in disbelief, Revan asked Bastila, who reluctantly confirmed Malak's words. The former apprentice took advantage of Revan's shock and made every effort to sow discord between his former master and his friends, yet Revan held to his beliefs. Angered that Revan could not be swayed from the path of the light, Malak created a stasis field around Bastila and Karth and prepared to end the life of his former master. Since he betrayed Revan from afar, many claimed that he was afraid to personally face Revan for the mantle of the Dark Lord. This seemed like an excellent opportunity to prove himself. But Revan showed that he is more than a capable lightsaber duelist. Gathering his remaining strength, Malak managed to put a stasis field around Revan, thus immobilizing him. Before he could deliver the fatal blow, Bastila fearlessly charged at the Dark Lord, which prevented him from killing Revan. She urged Revan and Karth to run for the Ebon Hawk, and, despite Revan's disapproval, she sealed the blast door with her and Malak on the other side. Reluctantly, the duo left, and, with the rest of the crew, they escaped the Leviathan. Aboard the freighter, Revan revealed his identity, staggering the crew. Though surprised, his companions all agreed that he is a redeemed man now and that they will gladly follow him to the end. The crew's final destination was the Sith world of Korriban. While trying to obtain the Sith medallion, which would allow him to enter the Sith Academy, Revan witnessed a number of horrific actions performed by the Sith hopefuls. Thinking that the young Jedi is another victim that they could torment cost them their lives and allowed Revan to acquire the medallion. After successfully entering the Sith Academy with Yuthura Ban as his master, the Prodigal Knight began his search for the final star map. Though the ancient artifact was hidden in the tomb of Naga Sadow, Revan needed to acquire enough prestige to be allowed to enter the burial ground. He managed to obtain the ancient sword of Ajunta Pol, defeat the hermit Jorak Un, and subdue other hopefuls. Uthar Vin, the leader of the Sith Academy, acknowledged Revan as the most promising student, which meant that his final trial towards acquiring the star map will soon begin. The young Jedi, alongside two Sith masters, Yuthura Ban and Uthar Vin, entered the tomb of Naga Sadow. Inside, Revan faced many challenges, eventually reaching the star map. As he prepared to leave the tomb, the two Sith masters approached him. After congratulating him, Uthar Vin explained to Revan that being a Sith meant constantly fighting one's competition, and proceeded to order the young Jedi to kill Yuthura Ban. To Vin's surprise, Revan sided with the Twi'lek master, and, with combined strength, they defeated the leader of the Sith Academy. When Uthar finally fell, Ban turned on her student, but Revan overwhelmed her and drove her to defeat. Though Yuthura was willing to accept her sentence, Revan refused to kill her and was able to convince her to abandon the ways of the Sith. With the last piece of the star map in place, the crew set course for the planet of Leon. As before, Revan allied with the Elders, this time determined to fulfill his promise. Although the Temple of Ancients was crawling with the dark side users, Revan and his Jedi companions managed to reach the summit of the temple. At the top, Bastila was waiting with a double-bladed lightsaber in her hand. Revealing to the group that she had become Malak's apprentice, Bastila attacked her former friends. Although Revan harbored love for Bastila, he was forced to draw the lightsaber and subdue his beloved. Sensing the power that Revan held, Bastila tried to sway him from the path of light, but to no avail. Frustrated at her failed attempt, she boarded a nearby freighter and escaped the temple. Meanwhile, Karth contacted the Republic fleet and, together with them, the crew attacked the Star Forge above the planet. The group boarded the space station in the attempt to stop Darth Malak. As Bastila, now servant of the dark side, used her battle meditation against the Republic, Revan rushed towards the main deck of the station. Fighting through the waves of the Dark Jedi, he finally reached Bastila. Embracing the dark side, she attacked Revan multiple times, but he was able to drive her back. Reaching out to the woman he loved, he confessed his feelings to her. Sensing the truth in his words, Bastila admitted that she loved Revan all this time. His confession was all she needed to come back to the light. Empowered by the fact that Bastila had been saved from the clutches of the dark side, Revan proceeded towards his final confrontation with Darth Malak. As Revan approached his former student, Malak stated that with the power of the Star Forge at his disposal, he is nearly invincible. Finally, their duel could commence. Once again, the fate of the galaxy would be decided in a battle between Master and the Apprentice. As the two clashed their lightsabers, Revan used all his might to overwhelm his adversary, eventually injuring Darth Malak. But the Dark Lord could not so easily be beaten. He force-drained the energy from the Jedi that were captured when the Sith fleet conquered Dantooine. Knowing that they cannot be saved, Revan freed them so they could be one with the Force, thus depleting Malak's energy source. As the Republic and the Sith fleet battled around Starforge, the two fought back and forth across the platform, but ultimately Malak was driven to his knees, fatally wounded. Coughing, Malak questioned Revan as to what might have happened if their roles were reversed. Revan apologized for starting Malak on the path of the dark side, but reminded him that he had continued down it willingly. Accepting his apology, Malak realized that the only architect of his downfall was himself. Thus, the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Malak's life, ended in darkness and regret. As his former apprentice fell, Revan departed the viewing platform. Though the Republic bombardment of the station had already begun, Revan managed to reach the Ebon Hawk and, with his companions, he left the Star Forge. On the planet of Leon, they were each rewarded with the Cross of Glory, the Republic's highest military award. As the representative of the Jedi Council, Master Vandar rebestowed the rank of the Jedi Knight on Revan, telling him that the Order now has a new tale to weave into their grand history: the redemption of Revan, the Prodigal Knight.